Well, King Charles and Queen Camilla are set for another big day on their royal tour, with a full afternoon of events scheduled in Canberra. It comes after the pair began their Aussie tour with a church service. This was in North Sydney yesterday, surrounded by hundreds of fans giving gifts and sharing well wishes.
I'm sorry there wasn't room for you in the church.
Oh, we would have definitely come.
Sorry. Tom.
It's their first visit to Australia as King and Queen, and for more, we're joined by 7 News foreign editor Hugh Whitford. There was a lot of speculation around His Majesty's health leading into this visit. How do you think he's holding up? He looked in pretty good spirits from what I've seen.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Look, I think that day off has probably given him, and also Camilla, who's 77 years old, they've got off a 24-hour flight, landed here, different time zone, different climate. I think that 24 hours off gave them a chance just to take a breather. Keep in mind that everything that the King does over the next 10 days or so is in consultation with the doctors. They'll be making a real effort to make sure that he doesn't get fatigued, get too tired. The program each day is pretty compact. It's only about 6 or 7 hours that they're out overall. So I think they're taking it easy with a view to the long game.
My 20-year-old son went to the Everest on Saturday, which is where there was speculation the King may have gone. And my 20-year-old said it was so intense, there were so many people. It was so fun, but it would have been a lot to hop off the plane and go straight to the races.
Yeah,
that 20-year-old can't hack it.
That crowd looked wild.
Well, the only footage I saw of it was around 40,000 people off their faces singing Sweet Caroline. I'm not sure if royalty would have fit in with that vibe, but you never know.
You never know.
It would have been from his era. He would have known the song.
It would have been just the tonic, maybe. This is really important from a PR perspective, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think the fact that the King is coming here as the first realm nation that he's visiting on the throne. It could have been Canada, which is much closer to the UK. Could have been New Zealand tacked on to the end of this trip. In fact, I think the Kiwis probably feel a little bit miffed that he's not going there. But he spoke yesterday about how much he cherishes the relationship with Australia. He's been here so many times, obviously here as a teenager when he was down at Timbertop as well. So I think he likes the fact, I think, that he's come here and there is some significance to this trip.
Looking ahead, Canberra is the next stop. What's the plan there? What will they be doing? Yeah,
look, some really good opportunities for people in Canberra, the ACT, Southern New South Wales, to get along there today at the Australian War Memorial and Parliament House to see their Majesties. There'll be some really poignant moments at the War Memorial. They'll lay a wreath and also place poppies next to 2 soldiers' names on the Roll of Honour as well. And then they'll be meeting with dignitaries inside Parliament House. A few other community meetings as well.
Hugh, I love that Camilla is talking about domestic violence. It's going to be happening because we know how close that is to her heart. And that's good work.
Yeah, there are key things that they kind of latch on to, and Camilla's been working on domestic violence, family violence for many years. She often has groups around to Clarence House to discuss it. She's been all over the world to talk about it. You know, the King has the environment and all that kind of thing that he's really promoted over the years, but for Camilla it's a really important cause.
Yeah. Meeting with the PM and the opposition leader, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. So Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton. Albanese, a Republican Prime Minister, so he's obviously had to put that to one side, but a series of meetings, a lot of meetings where they kind of discuss fairly perfunctory stuff, really. I mean, it's all going through the motions, but a chance to maybe get an update on what's going on. He might ask the Prime Minister, you know, what are the big issues you're facing right now? And, you know, I don't know we'll get any details out of those meetings because they're meant to be kept private.
I just nodded, pretending I knew what perfunctory meant. I couldn't pronounce /share easier.
But are we encouraged by the sizes of the crowds? Do you think back home, meaning England, that they would be happy with the size of the crowd so far?
I think the Palace will be really happy with the reception. You know, there's been a few protests and obviously that's allowed. They're not going to ban protests or anything. But I think the Palace will be buoyed by the reception that he's received, and you've got to keep an eye out for those spontaneous moments where Charles kind of breaks loose and ducks across the street, and he did that yesterday outside Parliament.
If they're not happy with the footage of the crowds, they could just show the vision of the Everest. Everyone singing Sweet Caroline. Oh, yeah, they love them over there. They were very excited to see them. Thank you very much, Hugh. Lovely to see you, mate. We're going to have more royal coverage ahead as we break down the King and Queen's fashion secrets, what you need to know about their colour choices and Camilla's special jewellery tribute.